You guys are one of Australia's probably top rock bands, and you're four sisters, so we got Amy, Hannah, Sarah and Holly, and you guys are from Darra Gwym in Victoria. Originally you had a different name to Stonefield, so how did you get the name Stonefield?
Well, yeah, we used to be called Iota, and then we won a competition called Triple J Unearthed High, and I guess the people that worked at Triple J kind of said to us, oh, do you realise that there's another Australian artist called Iota? Although it was spelt differently, but it didn't really matter. So I just gave him a call and asked if he minded us actually having the same name or not, because he's sort of a completely different thing. And he didn't mind, but his manager did. So yeah, we came up with Stonefield after a lot of brain racking. It was quite difficult. I think that's one of the hardest things about being in a band, is coming up with a good name. Yeah, and it was from basically living in a field with stones.
Oh yes, because Darra Gwym's full of quite true. So what do you guys do in your downtime? It's quite a like, what do you guys do? Do you horse ride, or because you seem incredibly busy from what I'm reading here. What do you do in your downtime?
We don't really have too much downtime, especially with the girls at school, but yeah, and we can't have horses on our property because we have this grass that kills them, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. Yeah.
So,
we live in a hobby farm, so we don't really have that many animals.
We've just got a few cows.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, there you go. Cows are already dying here on OKR FM. So, how did you guys get together? So, did you think that you already had your singing, or does someone in your family represent singing, or how did you guys get together?
We used to dance and sing. Like
in Kilmore, actually.
In Kilmore, yeah. And then who suggested it? Mum suggested that we get music lessons because
a music teacher moved in next door.
Yeah, so we thought it was a really good idea, and then we all just started at the same time. And yeah.
So we knew how to sing, but I guess because Amy was the oldest, she kind of just took that role.
Well, she wanted to.
The oldest. No, but, well,
she wanted to.
No, she probably had the most developed voice compared to all of us. Yeah. So, I don't know, it kind of just all fell into place with, like, picking different instruments as well. Like, originally I wanted to play drums, but so did Amy, and I just didn't want to be the same as her. So, my next favourite instrument was guitar, and then Holly just really loved the bass and was asking for one for ages. And yeah, seeing as we were all playing different instruments, we just started jamming on the same songs together, and yeah, one thing led to another, and here we are.
So I heard you do a lot of your own music, but you do some cover versions, or like how do you guys work with the songs you make? Are they based on true stories, or how do you think of that creative process?
A lot of our song lyrics are based on life experiences, relationships, whatever, just things that happen in life, and some of our songs are just kind of made up stories or inspired from movies or books or pretty much anything, anywhere I can drag some inspiration from.
Yeah, who are your idols exactly, and why are they your idols?
We grew up listening to 70s music from my mum and dad, and so we listened to like Led Zeppelin. Our dad is a massive fan of Frank Zappa, so obviously we listened to lots of him, and like Hendrix, Pink Floyd, and we listened to Fleetwood Mac, a lot of stuff. We obviously listen to many different types of music, but 70s rock is the sort of the main thing that we grew up listening to and love playing music inspired by that era.
So what kind of music? I heard it's like alternative rock, or no, there's a different name I believe for it. No?
Yeah, I guess
I'd say
it's probably rock. Classified as I don't know.
I'd say classic rock.
JB Hi-Fi classified as alternative rock, but I don't know. I guess it is rock.
Yeah, do you guys still get nervous at all, like when you perform? Because you guys as well, which we'll get onto, are touring around Australia this year, and you've also been overseas. So obviously, would there be like a big pressure and nerves, and as well because a lot of you going through high school, trying to learn as well. Do you still get nervous?
It kind of depends on the gig and the situation.
I know before we played Glastonbury, we were all so nervous. Like that was the most nervous I've ever been. It just depends on what type of gig it is. If it's a chilled out gig, then we're chilled.
Yeah, majority of the time we don't really get too nervous. We just get pretty excited and pumped up. But yeah.
So you work on a lot of adrenaline. Yeah, that's the main key there. And I was talking about overseas just then. Where exactly did you go? But why did you go overseas? Was there a special event that you had?
Yeah, I think it was probably the second time that we played interstate. We played at a big music festival, which was also a big industry conference. So it was in Perth, and it was set up in all the venues around the city, little showcases, and then there was a big festival on the weekends. And when we played our set at the festival, one of the bookers from a big festival in the UK, Glastonbury, happened to be there and saw our set, and then we pretty much got asked straight after our set if we'd like to go and play. So we kind of saved up a heap of money, and we got a government grant, and headed over there and played at the festival, and it was huge. It was a really amazing experience.
Yeah, perfect. Well, we'll be right back after this break, asking you exactly what's on for the future, and especially for the rest of 2012, and we'll be talking about your Around Australia tour, which will be quite interesting. So we're going to go to a song now, and we're going to play Black Water from you guys here. OKR FM 98.3, and that was Black Water from Stonefield, and they are joining us live in the studio. We have just had a great conversation about the industry of entertainment and the music industry, and we were just saying about the bad side, but you were saying you don't actually really get much of it.
Yeah, so far we haven't experienced much of the bad side, so yeah, we've been really lucky. Everybody we've met is really nice, and
we've got really good people around us at the moment, so
I think everybody sort of keeps an eye out for everybody, and everybody knows everybody really, so if word gets around that somebody's bad, then we sort of know what to do.
And you've played with some big artists at festivals and events and all of that. Who exactly have been on the tour as well? And have you tried to go up to them and ask for advice, or?
Probably the biggest one was we got to support the Foo Fighters.
Oh, that would have been good.
In Sydney, and that was awesome. Sarah and I met Dave, and he was really lovely. And Tenacious D were also supporting them, so they were all standing side of stage watching our set. So it's just that was a good example of people in the industry just being really lovely and looking out for you. It was just a really pleasant experience. Everyone backstage was just looking out for you, and it was good.
And we were also saying in the break about you guys. Is there someone that ever tries to go, I'm not doing this anymore, or does it get too much pressure for any of you guys? Or
I don't think anyone would ever seriously say that. Because we all love doing what we're doing and are very lucky to be doing it. But, if we're doing a band practice and Holly's not getting her way or whatever, being the youngest, she tends to be the typical youngest child.
She's not that bad. Yeah.
But she would never really want to quit band.
If no one listens to my ideas or something like that, I get really frustrated. I'm like, fine, then I'm not doing band practice, and then walk out. But I'll come back in 5 minutes.
And keep playing. So what instruments as well do you play, and where exactly can our listeners find your music? Is there a Facebook page or a Twitter account or MySpace? I think
got it all.
Social networks.
Holly plays bass, Hannah plays guitar, Sarah plays organ and now a synth as well sometimes, and I play drums and sing. We've got a YouTube channel, which is Stonefield Band. We've got a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Stonefield Band. I guess that's our main one that we're using. MySpace, Stonefield the Band. Twitter,
Stonefield Band.
All that jazz.
Standards, and what advice do you have for upcoming artists?
I think the main thing would be take every opportunity you can, play every gig you can, enter all the local battle of the bands and all that kind of thing, because every gig that you do is an experience, and you're going to meet people and network and learn a lot. We didn't know that one of the bookers for Glastonbury was watching our set in Perth, and then next thing we knew we were in the UK the next year. So definitely goes to show that you should always put your all in and do it for the right reasons. Do it for the love of music, not to get famous and become rich or anything like that. I think stick to doing it for the love of music.
And what can we expect from Stonefield for the rest of 2012 in the future?
We're currently sort of in and out of the studio working on our debut album, which will be coming out early next year. And in between that, we've been playing a few shows, but we've got a big tour coming up in August, which will be a regional tour of Australia called Winter Road Trip. And we're doing it as a co-headline tour with Allies, another Melbourne artist. So it should be really fun.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I wish you guys, and as part of OKR FM, we wish you all the best. So congratulations, good luck with everything. I hope to be playing your latest singles next year on my show, and I'm sure that hopefully they will be represented on other stations as well. And speaking of other stations, with Play Vic a week where they're playing all over Victoria, isn't it?
As far as I know, I'm pretty sure that it's radio stations are focusing on Victorian music, and so hopefully listen in and you might hear some of our songs.
Okay, well, thank you very much to Amy, Hannah, Sarah and Holly, and thank you for joining us. We're going to leave with Stonefield and one of their songs, Through the Clover.